Hi everyone and welcome to a new PoE video. I'm Kushido and today I want to talk a little bit about the current state of Blight. As you may know, I went for a Blight early game strategy and oh boy, with the new Arch-Nemesis modifier, it was insane. I'm not going to talk in depth about the Arch-Nemesis modifier because many people already did that. Just so you know, there was a modifier that made the enemies immune to damage for 4.5 seconds, and of course when that happened during a blight, you just lose the blight. Thankfully they removed that mod from blight encounters, so it's more doable. There are still the juggernauts that are immune to movement speed reduction and to stun, which are a problem, but if you have no damage, you can kill them before they reach the pump. For now, I did a lot of blight in the map. I did a lot of blighted maps and I tried some uber blight. The idea of my strategy was to clear the atlas while farming some blight and then farming a little bit of blight on T14 plus, and that was achievable pretty easily except for the immune monsters. And then I wanted to skip the blighted maps and go directly to the uber blight. Before this Arch-Nemesis modifier, the difficulty difference between the Blight and the Uber Blight wasn't that high. If you use the correct technique, if you manage to clear a Blight, you can also clear a Uber Blight without any problems and without any fancy build. The real difference between the two was the amount of investment and the amount of return phase of the investment. Now, with my current build, which isn't a top tier build, I'm doing 2.2 million DPS, and with the Val skeleton on, I'm doing 5.5 million DPS. I'm still unable to clear high level mid juiced Uber Blight. And that is, I believe, because of Arch Nemesis modifier. It's very difficult to see what's happening in a Uber Blight, especially when you are feeling it. But I saw many monsters passing through the Chilling Tower, the Seismic Tower, without getting slowed or stunned. So I believe they are the Juggernaut Arch Nemesis. And even with the Val Summon Skeleton active, they can still survive and go through the pump pretty easily. I'm okay with Uber Blight being more difficult than normal Blight, that makes complete sense. I even tried to run the Uber Blight with a couple of sepia oil and to set up few scout towers near the pump to catch out those enemies running, but even with my 5.5 million DPS scouting tower choke points to slow them down, they just go through the pump no matter what. I will try again. I want to come up with a strategy to overcome this problem, but now there is a problem with the rewards that are not up to difficulty level. Because right now a mid-juiced Uberblight is way more difficult than a super-juiced Uberblight from the last league. And the difference between the rewards is insane because the more you juice, the better the reward. And the Blight is a mechanic that with a low juice, low investment, you really aren't getting that much in return. But with high investment, you are getting a lot of return. So you want to do high investment blight. And in right now it's impossible for me to do high investment Uber blight. But maybe I'm just used to the easy blight from the last league. Let me know down in the comment how you are performing and if you found a good strategy to farm over blight. Okay, so my recommendation for now, if you want to farm blight, you can either do blighted maps or farm blight on. Starting from the blighted maps, the price is going down. You can buy them for 13, 14C, tier 13 plus. I usually juice them with 3 crimson oil, which is 2C each one. So for 19, 20C, you have a map ready to run. They are not that hard to run, but if you're struggling, you can add some amber oils to reduce the cost of towers, so you can lay down more towers, or eventually you can use a sepia oil to increase the tower damage of the towers. I still have to test, but I don't think it's worth using Operation Silver and Golden Oil because the cost is too high and the returns are too low. The other way I recommend you to interact with Blight mechanic is to force Blight with a sextant and then run it in a map with other mechanics. For example, right now you can force the Blight by using a sextant. This sextant here is 3 or 4C, so it's pretty cheap and you have guarantee Blight every time. The other good one is this one. Oils found in your maps have 100% chance to be 1 tier higher. This is 15 cows for 4 uses, and is totally worth because you are finding very often silver oil and sometimes golden oil. With the Blight in map, we have access to a lot of modifiers from the Atlas tree, for example this one, which gives us 20% chance to contain additional Blight encounter. We get oil extractors, and there are few anointed rings and amulets that is a 50% gamble to get silver oil or even golden oil. There are some which are guaranteed to get you either a silver or a golden oil. So if you use them efficiently, you can actually make a lot of profit out of oil extractors. And other than that, we can combine it with another strategy. And I'm using a Mirror of Delirium. I used to run Bone Crypt for the Blight, but that is not very optimal for the Mirror of Delirium. Now I'm going to try a few maps that are very good for Delirium, for example Tropical Island or Promenade, and then I see if I can run proficiently the Blight there. And at the end, if you manage to combine Blight with another technique like this, or maybe with Expedition, in a long run is you are getting more currency by running Blight on maps instead of doing Blighted maps right now, in my opinion. The cost is higher compared to the Blighted maps farming, but you can also run Blight in maps without combining it with any other league mechanics eventually. And that's it for today's video. I'm gonna experiment more with Blight and I'm gonna do more video about farming results so you have an idea how much profit you can make by farming Blight right now. You can catch me farming live on twitch.tv/Kushido. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you want more content like this, and remember, stay safe, Exile.